Why is it overrated? You know what I mean?
One out of 100. Excellent. Some kind of
Welcome to It's More Than Just Money, where we delve into conversations with entrepreneurs, industry leaders, and change makers who are making a difference in the South African business landscape and abroad. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we start with today's broadcast, remember, it is brought to you by AdProp. If you don't know what AdProp is, please head out to adprop.co.za so that you can get in touch with a property platform that allows you to list your property, to rent out your property, and to sell your property. And if you're a tenant, that's the right place for you to find a property to rent. If you're a property investment person with a portfolio, you are able to use the platform to formalize your rental portfolio, send leases to your tenant, invoice them, and have reports for your portfolio. And lastly, if you are a service provider, a contractor, a painter, an electrician, that platform is definitely something you should get onboarded on because it allows you to have access to over 4,700 users at the time we are shooting this podcast that are there available to engage with your services in different parts of the country. The platform is nationwide and allows for you, the property investor, the property owner, the agent, as well as service provider to be able to use the platform to make some money. And now that we have all of that out of the way, today I'm sitting with a seasoned entrepreneur, Bathabile Moreki, the founder of How to Make Your First Million by Borrowing Money from the Bank, right?
Yeah.
And she's a seasoned franchisee. She's held a couple of franchises as well. She's worked for the government, and she's currently the founder and CEO of the Perfume Co.
Africa, Perfume Co.
Africa, with over 150,000 distributors. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, that speaks to dedication, that speaks to commitment. And I remember when you started the company, it was as if you're joking. You put out a post and said, guys, if you want to make money, join me. I'm looking for 100 people. From 100 to 150,000. That must have taken a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of sleepless nights. But before the success, before the perfumes, who are you? Who is Bathabile Moreki?
And you forgot to mention the grace. You're talking about the grace now? Yes.
Oh, she's very
It's all the grace.
by God. As well. We're talking about the fact that sometimes it's impossible to do certain work unless you have the grace of God on your side. And me and you both, welcome to the Grace Club.
Thank you. All right, so Bathabile, it's a girl from the rural areas in the Free State. So I was born in Mpumalanga, Embalenhle, and unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, my parents had to relocate when my dad got retrenched from a mining company, and then they decided to go back home where my mom was born, in Qwaqwa. That's where now I was raised. And you know the story, like most of us, we come to Gauteng to further our studies. So yeah, I came here in Johannesburg to further my high school, and then I decided to do my tertiary education here in Johannesburg.
What did you study?
Here, you know those courses that when you couldn't be accepted for the main courses, and then you choose. But not that one, I chose it.
But what did you study?
Tourism management. You
should have
You're
just
not
traveled.
taking us serious.
You should have just
Those
traveled.
ones.
That's
That's
tourism.
people. That's what you used to say. Like, hi, why must you study to go to Limpopo?
Just go to Limpopo.
Just go. Guys, tourism is complicated. You know, traveling international and that it's not that easy. But anyway, yeah, I did that. I chose it. For me, I loved it. I don't know. I saw my personality in it. I love to travel. I love organizing events. I thought, oh, this is the course for me. And I was a science student, and I was very good. I had an A for maths in matric. So I disappointed a whole lot of people because they thought I was going to be an engineer. That's what I thought as well. But my dad gave me an advice, said, do what you love. Don't chase the money. There's money anyway. Even if you sell water, even if you're a teacher, there's money anyway. Remember growing up, there were teachers that were wealthy.
Yes.
Yeah. So my dad sat me down and said,
Even now, there are teachers who own schools.
exactly. So don't chase the money, chase what you love, then the money will come. So I said,
What was your upbringing like? Because you speak of your dad now. Any early signs that showed that you will have business as part of your DNA?
not really. But imagine growing up in the Free State, and then there was a time where I had to stay with my grandparents who were, pastor. And Free State is not your church like Joburg.
So the traditional churches.
Even their donations give you 10 cents. So you won't even think you can be a business person, growing up from such situation where you just, a normal family, you go to church, you come back, go to school. You don't even have like a business person in the family that you can say, oh, I want to be like my uncle. They are just working, trying, And my grandfather was just a hustler. He was a pastor. He had a 9-to-5 job, but after hours, he used to fix bicycles and those steel bowls. Back in the days, we used to have those baths.
The ones we used to bath in.
Yes, and then
my
the
grandmother
stoves,
used to put money in it. Some people
so it was for me. It was not entrepreneurship. It was just my grandfather trying to use his hands to make extra cash because all my cousins, we used to stay at my grandparents. So there were 10 of us.
So it was heavy for him.
It was heavy for him my grandmother was not working. So he was there. So for me, it was not a business when I saw him doing that. And then he will go and preach in some farms. They will give him peanuts and milk. So it was a lot. So he decided to make us to sell them. So for me, it was not business. It was just like, we've got a lot of peanuts, then we are just selling.
Oh,
so for me, it was not.
Peanuts.
Yes, they wouldn't give him cash like gifts.
Yes.
You're a pastor, you'll be given gifts. So for me, it was not business. It was just like, embarrassing moments. You go to school with peanuts to sell. Pella, back then, selling, you were like, okay, you're not really from a good family if you are selling. Like, La Sokola. So I didn't really enjoy it.
Wow.
I had to do it because, you respect your elders.
Is there anything that you learned from that experience?
Only now.
Yeah, now that you can look back.
Only now, yes. I think it was the best thing ever that has happened to me because I think, some people like to say, I'm scared to sell. I'm scared to do this. And I think that gave me exposure, to say, okay, selling, and then you're holding money, So somehow I've always been, I think, street smart. Even when I went to varsity, I used to sell. So I think I got exposed to money that somehow, subconsciously, you're not really thinking about it, but your actions will lead you, to somehow getting the money, understanding that you need extra money. So for me, money, it was something that, coming from an environment of Christianity, sometimes money is like, hey, we can't talk about money, but at home, we'll talk about money, we need change. So I think that gave me an advantage in life. That's why even now, I'm not scared to sell. I'm confident I understood that, that selling made our home better. There were people that share stories that how they slept hungry. I don't have that story. My grandfather didn't have. Yeah, my father sold something. My grandfather. So we always had something to eat. There was like 10 of us. All my father's siblings, they had two kids each. All of us, like we're 12. No, 10. Staying in under one roof. But we slept, we had breakfast, lunch, even if it was just pap and milk, but it was filling. And we had, proper uniform, like basics were covered.
Wow. What did your life look like when you were still in government? Because you worked in government. Can you paint a picture? Because that's before, you grew up in entrepreneurship, then you work in government, then you transition to entrepreneurship. Sounds like two different lives.
Yeah. Even my mom used to be a teacher, but she used to hustle. She used to work at the farm schools. So remember, farm schools, they pay you according to the role of the kids. If there are 20 kids, which means you don't get the same salary as the teacher. So she'll have maybe a shebeen, sell something. She used to now and then there's a business that she launches. So, and fast forward, when I came to government, I was from a private sector. After I studied, and then I got the opportunity to do events in the private sector, and then I went to government. We're doing the national events. You remember back in the days, Freedom Days, National Days, I used to be part of the team. Mandela Day, yeah. Yes. Procuring so many flags, big stadium, the soldiers will come and parade. I used to be part of the team that will organize those national events. Budget. Now we had to cut budgets, yes.
Okay.
We had to cut budgets and do things differently, Yeah. So for me, when I got to government, it was a very different world. Remember, in that government, I only used to know police station. Our government
Oh,
in my
police
head. So even when my brother-in-law sent me an advert to say, hey, there's a position, the assistant director in government. Well, assistant director is big in government.
Yes.
Hey, and I was like, yo, government, I'm sure they don't even have chairs. But remember when you go to police station, it's broken chairs, they don't have proper computers.
Stool.
Exactly. But I was like, okay, I only applied, just because he shared. So I don't want to disappoint
wanted to honor
somebody.
him.
Yeah, to say
Yes.
shame. They will think that I'm not grateful. Yeah, but then I applied, to my surprise. And remember, with this bad publicity of government positions being given to the friends and families, I thought, I won't even stand a chance. And so, to my surprise, I got to be called on interview, and it was very quicker than what the norm, how people will also say government takes longer. And when I got there, I saw a huge building, it was national office. I was like, okay, I can work here.
Oh,
The national office
this
is
is
posh.
fancy.
You get in there, there's like securities there. Everything is posh at the national. So I was like, it's not a bad thing. And the salary was good. Assistant director, no. Government, it was a good start.
So why risk all of that to start a business? And what was the breaking point that actually made you to take that risk and get into business?
So for me, I
you
think
go
it was
from
more
government
of an
straight to business?
opportunity. Yes, I went to corporate, government, and then business. But I still had side hustle.
And you
I
had
still
connections.
varsity.
Pella, in government, you've got connections.
Not me. Guys, when I was
But
just
you are
a
meeting
newbie,
people.
you meet people, but remember it was overwhelming. Like, my career in government, it was like from assistant deputy director, 6 months, you are called to work with a minister. I'm like, I don't even understand what's a minister, what's an MEC. Like, everything happened so quickly for me that I was
promotions.
the promotions.
Okay.
Remember when you're coming from private sector, you're coming with a speed was like government works differently than
They're
private
slower,
sector.
yeah.
And
You
then I was
coming
coming
with
there
new
with the
ideas.
suits, those navy suits and your black suits. Because remember corporate events, you're always wearing posh. So I think that gave me some sort of a highlight in the ministry, because remember PAs of the minister, you need to look presentable. So when the head of the minister approached me to say, okay, there's this position, they didn't even know me. They just saw me at an event. Remember, I was doing events.
Yes.
So I was organizing the events of the deputy minister. So I did it very well. It was the elderly day. Remember, there's this day of elderly people. Yeah.
Seguraba kokwana.
So we're in the Eastern Cape there. There was troubles with the service providers, but I was not just sitting there. I was chopping onions with my suits, chopping, like helping the service provider to cook, because remember elderly people used to eat. So I think they saw me there to say, oh, this lady, she's so
She's
dedicated.
even cooking.
Yes, remember they like, who's there with the suits cooking? And I'm like, no, she works at the events and marketing department.
Why did you do
Then
that?
I was called. I love my job and I love to serve. One thing about me, I love to serve. I like, even at the restaurant, you'll start seeing me picking up my plates if I see that the waiter is struggling. No, I love to serve though. That's me. That's my personality.
And were people supportive when you left then that job that was stable, you were earning good money, or they just thought you were crazy?
My parents were scared for me because remember, government is stable. Chance of you losing the job is very slim, But I think they got used to it because they saw me from a young age that, I've always been that person that I'm all over. Like 2 minutes I'm here, the next I'm there. And I think opportunities has always been available for me because I'm not shy. I'll ask, if I don't know, I'll ask if I need something. So I think that has worked for me. So my parents were, to be honest, scared because it was a very stable job. And I got so many promotions that within 2 years, I was a deputy director at a director level payment, because when you work to the minister, you've got some benefits, travel allowance, a property in Cape Town that you don't even pay for. You pay like 100 rand, but it's a 2-bedroom townhouse. You travel with the ministers, you see the world, business class, So they were like, it's a good job. Why now must you leave this good job?
Why? Yeah, that's a good question.
There was a lot of, I think for me, that made me change. I saw an opportunity, to be honest, because as soon as I entered into the government, I started understanding about the funding that government had. Remember, government communication is not that good. For me, it was not that good. I didn't know much about government up until I worked for government. So I started knowing about the National Development Plan that was published in 2011, I think, talking about funding for Black-owned businesses, funding for youth. So I was like, hi, but there are so many nice programs and funding for business. So I was like, why don't I have my own business? I tick the box. I'm
'Cause you've
Black,
seen
young.
the funding.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, no, I can, own my own time, but still have work.
The heart of selling peanuts is coming back now. What can I say?
What can I say? I was looking, I'm like, there's funding. And there was a lot of money that you will see, like if you go to the NEF website, like it was millions, not small money. So I was like, this may be an opportunity for me as a young Black, woman. So I like, let me take this opportunity.
And what did you transition into when you took the opportunity?
Into franchise.
Ah, okay.
So I thought, okay, let me get into a business, because remember, I've never had a formal business. So I thought, okay, franchising, after I've learned about it, I went to some expo and then I saw the franchising there. Then they were explaining that we give you training, we give you support. You need to have this million to start. So I was like, hey, government has the money. I'm Black, I'm young, I meet the criteria. Why not?
And then did you leave immediately or you waited for the business to stabilize and then left?
I waited for the business to start, because the way I was investing, it was a brand new mall. It was being built. So I waited for the mall to be built and then to open. Then when it opened, that's when I resigned.
For a business where you had no guarantee whether or not this was going to work?
But the franchisor already told me that you need to be owner-manager.
Owner, yes.
So, and they explained to say, you know what, if it's an owner-manager, it will work better. Chances of it succeeding. And then they will tell you the bad stories of I think there was a season where a lot of professionals, like your doctors, optometrists, they will invest. But remember, they cannot be there because their practices needs them to be at their practices. And a lot of their businesses didn't do so well. So they had that case study. And for me, it made sense to say, to be honest, if you are not
famous brands,
they
want owner manager.
Yeah, it's owner manager. Now it's part of the requirement.
And then at that point, how did you transition into then writing a book, and why did you write the book? And how did you also then transition to branding yourself as a figure that helps people get the funding?
Okay, so I think for me, what happened was, it was just by chance, to be honest. I didn't really, that's why I always tell people that I believe some entrepreneurs like us are not born, but you can just be made along the way, because how I started writing my book, I will get a lot of inquiries to say, is this your business? Like even at Famous Brand, when I collect stock, remember sometimes you need to collect emergency stock, and then some people that are helping me, they'll assume that it's my father's business. And I was like, no, it's my business, and they'll be shocked. Then I started getting a lot of inquiries. How did you start? How, So I was like, okay, there's something here. Let me just share my story. Maybe it will help other people. Then I started sharing on social media, just talking. And then I got a lot of inquiries. And I was like, this could be a business maybe. People get to consult with me. I take them through the application, because I did my own application. I did my own business plan. I went to NEF. They gave me a guide to say, you'll need, that application form. It will tell you must have a business plan. This is what you do, So I did it on my own. I didn't even have any business consultant that helped me. I just took the application form, got to Google, and then I did it along the way. Because the application form is very detailed, and especially even for the banks one, it will ask you questions that you need to answer. Then you just put it as a business plan. So I will just read those questions. My dad will also help me, was such a reader. So he'll also maybe help me and explain, and then we did a business plan. Then I submitted, it got approved. So now I started telling people. So I thought, okay, remember now I'm an entrepreneur. Then I was like, this could be another element. I could consult, because I started attending a lot of workshops about franchising. So I started getting into different industries about franchising, learning. When there's a workshop for petroleum, filling stations, I'll go and attend, because banks will host such seminars. If it's about another brand, let's say Nando's, I'll go and attend just to learn about other brands.
Wow. Guys, you must remember that this conversation is brought to you by AdProp.co.za. It is the country's fastest growing property company, prop tech company, with a listing platform that allows you within 5 minutes to be able to list your property for sale or list your property for rental. Additionally, you will be able to use the platform to manage your property investment portfolio. And if you're a service provider, a painter, an electrician, and anyone that's in the maintenance space, or even an attorney that provides a service to the property industry, list on the platform as a service provider so that you can have access to the vast number of property owners that are on the platform. Thank you so much. We've got over 4,700 users on the platform currently. We are approaching 5,000. All of that was done within 3 months. And remember, on the 28th of June, we have our launch, which is the AdProp launch. It's our community launch because we're not really launching the platform. The platform is already live. It's a business. It's running. But would like to honor you as part of the community. Head out to adprop.co.za. You'll find all the information about the AdProp launch. Our theme is from back rooms to boardrooms, to show you that literally you could build something that serves the market that's starting and also be able to serve the market that is at the upper echelon of society. Now, I've said a lot. I need to transition back to our guest. And what I want to get into, you smell good, by the way, as I'm getting into that. You know, somebody can say I sell perfume, but when you smell them, you're like, are you sure you smell perfume? You sell perfume. But there were so many products you could have started. And there were also other network marketing businesses you could have just joined. You're a salesperson.
I have.
Right? Why perfume and why that product in particular? And you say you have. Perhaps start us with that explanation and tell us the story.
Yeah, when I was at varsity, we were exposed to another brand. You know, those old brands that were selling perfumes.
We are not going to mention them. Okay.
And, you know, the others were selling your, what do you call them, the lunch boxes. And the others were selling perfumes. Yeah, we were given that opportunity because members
You're selling Tupperware?
I didn't sell Tupperware, but I sold those other brands. You'll see that those perfumes, they were in the same range as Tupperware, yeah. The Avons and Justine. So at varsity, when you couldn't graduate because of the experiential learning, then there was an opportunity to say you can sell those products and then you'll get points because remember it's part of experience.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's how I got involved in that exposure at varsity. And then I went to government. Remember when you start working, you get exposed to say, hey, you must smell good, now you can afford. Then there used to be some, you know, those sales in Marlborough where they will sell perfumes. I used to love them because remember I travel, I work with ministers. I needed to, the image was important.
I remember.
So you end up loving those products. Then I fell in love with perfumes. Then when I went to entrepreneurship, no, you don't have luxury of buying those expensive perfumes. And, you know, that love, it ends. Yes, it ended. And fast forward, COVID happened. Then my restaurant closed down. I own now the Distributors, Fisherways and Steers. And all three closed down because of COVID rules.
In Blue Hills?
In Blue Hills, in Midrand.
Really?
Yes.
Sure.
So when they closed down because of the COVID rules, closed down. And remember,
They couldn't
in business,
survive
you couldn't. Remember our businesses, I'm the first generation entrepreneur. You build them on loans. So the big chunk is going to savings in the loan. So it's not like I had savings in abundance. I had just enough.
For the business to survive.
And when it started to reopening, the expenses were a lot. We had to throw the stock. And remember, it closed on the 28th. I'll never forget that pain. 28th of March, when you've just had stocked up because it's month end. Oof. Then it closed down, so you couldn't sell that stock. Now we reopen. Now the law says you must throw that stock away because you don't know what virus went into there. So imagine pain of throwing over 300,000 stock or more. It was a lot. Now you must buy stock and clean up, buy things. So setting it up again was so expensive that it took all the savings. And while it was still closed down, we're at home, and unfortunately my mother passed away. Then we went home for funeral. Now when we're there, and then my friend said during COVID, heavy COVID.
Sorry,
my mother passed away in June. So when we're there for the funeral, my friend said, buy eucalyptus oil and steam, because you've got kids. And then I bought it, and then when I came to Joburg.
Steaming for COVID?
For COVID.
Oh, yeah.
So when I came to Joburg, I left it for my dad. That because I was like, let me I'll buy it in Joburg. Little did I know that Joburg people, you clean up all
They bought everything.
Everything from discount clicks. There was no that's steaming. And then I was like, what's happening? Because I went to, there's a 4 like next to my area in Centurion. All of them, they were like, you will get there, it's empty. So I was like, what's happening? And then I went to social media. Guys, where do we buy? Then everybody was like, hey, we're looking for it. When you find it, tell us, most people with comments. I was like, there's something. And then it's just, we are bored at home. You start just Googling to say, okay, so eucalyptus supply. Because remember, as an entrepreneur, you are used to buying from other suppliers. It's not like you are only stuck to the retailers. So I just said, okay, let me just find, I'm sure there should be a supplier somewhere. And then I found the supplier in Centurion. I was like, okay, let me visit them. I went, Haibo, they were selling in like huge numbers. I bought 4 bottles. I was buying for me and my brother. Then I came to Facebook just jokingly. Oh, guys, tonight I'm steaming. It's going down. People were saying, please, where'd you buy? Buy for me. I was like, yes, I'll buy for you. And then I added my markup. Then I saw orders. People sending me money. I'm like, no, this is business. And I'm home, I'm bored. There's no extra income that is still coming in because the business are closed.
The business is closed.
I was like, let me keep myself busy. They kept me busy. Within a week, I was buying over 500 bottles from the supply. The following week, literally, I think I bought a stock for 10,000 with people's money, sending me money with my markup already at 100% profit. And I will go 100% profit. I was buying for 25 rand. I was selling for 50 rand 1 bottle. Then the demand was just too crazy. The WhatsApp, I couldn't sleep. Like 2 a.m., you are still getting WhatsApp messages. You are reconciling who bought how much. And the small monies. Like, they will keep you busy than a billion rand. And the people, they send you money and after 30 minutes. I send you money, you're not replying.
Why are you not replying?
It was a headache. So I was like, no, this is a good business, but the demand is so huge. So I started saying no, because remember, I joined other network marketings before. So I started loving that concept. It's like a franchise for me. So it's like, man, sometimes you cannot be all over, but look into ways that you can make money even if you're not in the Free State or in the Eastern Cape. So I was like, no, let me do a franchise model, where I get like franchisees who buys from me and sell. It's like network marketing. You buy, So I did that advert. So guys, I've got this business opportunity. I need 100 women who can make 100% profit. Because they will sell.
Oil then.
It was eucalyptus oil. It was like, I will get somebody buying 20,000 bottles. 2,000 bottles all the way from the pharmacist. They were now buying, selling. Like I was like, this business, the demand was crazy. That's how we started our own community of distributors. Then I started now selling to distributors. So yeah, that's how it started. And when COVID ended, when people started vaccinating, the demand was now low. And
it was a seasonal business. But it made cash.
I made lots of money. No, I made 1.3 million. I bought Mercedes-Benz cash with the money, with the profits. Well, I didn't even invest anything. It was just in my house, just buying stock with people's money. I didn't even use my own capital.
Yes, I remember the 1.3 million Mercedes. Yes, I remember.
Just like, what can I just do? It was hectic for 8 months. Then I bought myself a car. Yeah, it was such a nice business, and we made nice networks, which even now, the people that I started with them, eucalyptus, they are some of the distributors that I
So how did you transition to distributors? And before you get into that, right, tell me how the lessons in the early network marketing days, as well as the franchise running business, helped you to be able to confidently execute that model?
Yeah. No, I don't want to lie, it did. Like both models helped me a lot because, with the franchise and the network marketing, for me, I always say it's the same principle. It's just that with the franchises, they will focus more on you having a building access, to your market. But in network marketing, they say, even if you don't have a building, you can just still do it online. They are more online. The only difference that the other one is heavily online. The other one wanted a presence of a physical store. But in terms of the model, they determine the price, they determine the product that you're selling, So then they give you the branding, you get access to branding, they've got training. So it's similar models. The only difference is the other one is heavily online and the other one, it has physical store presence. So with our brand, we are trying now to merge. So how it happened, so my supply, because they love me so much, they saw this big business coming from me. Because remember, even their big retail, they couldn't buy so much stock because remember, in retail, there's so many bureaucracy. Yes. And you are not buying directly, those agencies. So they couldn't do that because the trucks were like paused to distribute. So for me, I think I was one of their
Essential
big
services.
client now, you know. So then we started building relationships, just talking about, okay, what else do you do with those ingredients that you make eucalyptus oil? So you were not making eucalyptus oil in these huge numbers before. What were you doing? They'll tell you, our products will do perfumes, we do this. Like, really? Yeah. And some produced, one of the suppliers asked me to say, why don't you sell perfumes? Because remember, they still wanted to retain me as clients. They are not into business of selling perfumes,
yes,
but they want to push their ingredients. And I was like, perfumes, I know, I've seen those ones deep down in downtown. They don't smell nice. People don't like them. Cheap perfumes. That was my response. I'm like, even me, I wouldn't buy them because really, with the branding, because remember, you're already thinking, no, there's already this big brand. Why would I start a new brand? But sometimes that thing is like, okay, maybe they have a point. I was not really, really convinced, but sometimes, somehow.
When you're sleeping.
Yes, you were thinking about it, but like, hello, I remember everyone, Justin, they're not really your designer brands, but people bought them. Like each and every household, now that experience of selling those. Remember, I'm sure even your mom used to, to use one of the products.
Yeah, there was a booklet.
Exactly. I was like, but maybe,
you know that booklet?
That is written numbers.
Yes.
Somebody made a star. This is my order. I was like, maybe there's a point because all those two, it's white-owned businesses. So maybe we can have another black-owned brand that you can just trigger it. Because remember those ones that are more into, even the saints, I remember them. They were more of, I think, white market, more than the black market. Remember how we dress up as the black and the white market.
You put it on different. In the township, you put it on in the house. When you walk out, by the gate, it's off. Sorry, guys. But by the gate, it's off. It's not like you need a car.
Yeah. So I was like, let me twig it so that it can also speak to us.
What kind of a perfume speaks to us?
Not really a perfume speaks to us, but the product that speaks to, the black communities. It's not like, you remember how the Gucci brand, the one that you buy in downtown, how it's so dominating in the black market.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, maybe we want our own Gucci because there's a Gucci perfume market. Yeah, there's a DKNY perfume. So I was like, no, man.
Oh, you went to check the...
Yeah, let me check what us as Africans that we love the most. We love the designer labels. Your Elvis, we love. We love the designer labels.
The finer things in life.
The finer things in life.
Yeah. So
we can't afford the big ones. I wouldn't now buy a perfume for 20,000. No, I wouldn't. I'm like, but I still want to smell good, like the one at 20,000. Yes, So I was like, no, man, there's a business here. There's a business case. And I went to perfume stores, the Red Door. They were still there. I mean, the Edgar's stores. I forgot the name. The ones that were
Red Square or something like that. Yeah.
And because remember other names I didn't know. Like your Isimieg, I didn't know how it smells. So Tom Ford.
Yeah, Isimieg.
I was like, hey, let me go. When I was there and asked the sales rep to say which one are the most popular, they bought them. I was like, Amani SI. I was like, we're gonna do replicas. This level. And the quality must match, but at affordable price. So then I started drawing inspiration from the Gucci. I'm like, Gucci, the replica, is making more money, I'm sure, than the Gucci, the original.
Of course, yeah. Because people are buying
numbers, it's a number game. Yeah. So
those are the views of the guest, man. Don't call me.
Please, guys.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I don't sell perfumes.
I was like, no, I think there's a business case here. Then I started doing live, talking about the perfumes. I saw people inquiring, when can we buy, how much?
You were doing lives now.
Yes.
Before you even sold?
I was like, no, man. Because remember, I'm taking the market research. That's why I always say, even if you want to start doing Acha business, research is very important.
Yeah, but what were the first steps in deciding to start? And then maybe you can talk about
Then I remember there was a company that I knew from KZN. I've met way back, that I've been following on social media. I was like, man, let me buy from somebody who's already making. Then I gave them my list to say, okay, I would like 1, 2, 3. They also already had some of the perfumes that I wanted, but that I also added the ones that I felt that I like. Yeah, that's how then we came up with our list to say, okay, can you make for me? So I was still buying from a reseller when I started because I didn't know anything about formulations. I was like, no, let me buy from somebody who knows.
And then how do you do the research to then bring yourself to a step where you are able to then develop your own? You spoke about the research now. You said even if someone is selling Archer, there's some sort
you
of
need
research
to
they
speak
need to
to,
do. What kind of
the
research is
suppliers.
that? Can you coach someone who's watching now, saying, give me a master class?
I always say the first step, Google has so many answers, but sometimes it will confuse you. From there, once you've at least seen the basic from the internet or online, even social media, go there and tell people that you want to start perfumes. People have so many opinions, they've got so many experience that they will throw in there. Read, as much as some they'll come harsh, some they'll come discouraging. Read the most important ones. Take something from those comments. I always come to Facebook. I'll tell you what's my plan next week, because I want to get feedback, because there are people that have worked in cosmetics. There are people who've used the products. They've got opinion to say, you know what? Because remember, sometimes I don't use the perfumes, but you're selling. It doesn't mean that when you sell alcohol, you drink alcohol. Some you might sell it, but you don't drink alcohol. So you'll need experts who knows the products,
who alcohol.
Uses the product, who has sold the products,
yes,
to give you opinions. Yeah, even social media, just post there, ask questions, and of the suppliers as well. Suppliers,
in marketing,
they
call them
you.
focus groups, where you get feedback from the actual market about the product.
So even when you go to the supplier, they will tell you, if you want to maybe have a cheaper version, you can start with this scale, how you ratio. Then if you want more expensive, ours is oil-based. That's why they last a little bit longer. That's why we don't have complaints of they give people rash, because oil is a bit softer than alcohol. There are other perfumes that are more alcohol-based because they want to cut costs to make it more affordable. So it's all about what you want to serve to your clients.
How many perfumes were in the first batch that you sold?
I bought 100 from my first supplier. By the time they arrived to me in Joburg, they were sold out.
So you sold them before?
They even arrived, because they were taking like about a week or two to arrive to me. Because I already been advertising on social media, telling people that I sell perfumes. I had a bottle, that I had to rebrand. So people saw a bottle, a product, and then they were pre-ordering.
What's the power of social media in building a business?
Sure, I cannot even start to describe it. It's massive.
Because people are dancing there.
It's massive. Hey, that dancing, it's business. It's a different. Remember, you cannot do the traditional marketing anymore. You need to go according to what.
I've never seen you dance.
I do.
You dance.
I was dancing this Saturday. I was dancing this Saturday. I had a gala dinner, so I was dancing. Then I'm posting it. It's trending now. It's like, hi, bro. They see, oh, can dance. You see, we dance. We talk. There. No, social media is massive. We cannot.
How can people?
It gives, even if it doesn't give you rent value, like in exchange immediately, but it builds your brand. Remember, in marketing, you should not only look about the transaction that you do immediately.
Yes.
For me, how you know Bathabile Moreki is through social media. Everybody, you didn't know me when I was in government, because I was working in the minister's office. We had rules.
You're not even allowed to post.
You'll go to Paris and you cannot even post. You just post an Eiffel Tower and then you come back, because DA will be in the jet. DA will be in your case to say, the PO of the minister was gallivanting in Paris. So you take just Eiffel Tower, because they wouldn't know who took it, So those are the things to say, hey, but how now people know me? It's through social media. How people know me, that I own franchises, I consult, I get corporate contracts through referrals that people saw my work on social media. That's why we post, not like we post to brag. We post to share the work that we do. That's the advertising for us as entrepreneurs. That's for me as an entrepreneur.
How can a young person start as of tomorrow to build a brand on social media and use it as leverage to start making money for themselves? I mean, even if, like, for instance, I know if I start selling perfumes, they'll sell. Anything I sell.
And I'm going to recruit you.
It's going to say, yeah,
I'm guiding you.
So I'm not saying I want to sell perfumes, man, but I know if I sell perfumes, they'll sell.
They want to buy.
So
we need to make money.
How can a young person do the same for themselves? And why is it important that they understand that power that those who are able to build personal brands actually end up having?
Yeah, so with it's not even only about social brands. Even now, young people, even June month, I'm happy that we're talking about young people. They need to be now conscious, even just for getting a job. Social media these days is very powerful. That even on a job interview, somebody can just say, can I see your social media like timeline? What you post, the language you use, it talks a lot about you as a person. So it's not only about being an entrepreneur. That
Talking about people, swearing
at people, exactly. There are some comments that you need to keep to yourself, not to post out there on social media, and posting a lot of you in taking alcohol as if it's something that is so like, glorious, So those are the things to say. Social media for you as a person, to be honest, these days, it's not only about entrepreneurs, but as an entrepreneur, if you want to be in an entrepreneur, use it, to the maximum. Be consistent. Don't just come and post when things are good. Even those bad stories, when things are not going well, post about them. I had such a bad day 2 weeks ago. From my car, I had a puncture that was very terrible. Like there was a big hole on my tire. And it was still a brand new tire. And then I got to a garage, my petrol lead was out. Like I've never seen a petrol lead coming out. And my car is still still new. Like the next thing, the truck, it was just coming out of oil, the truck for the business. Like just so many things happening in just one day. And I posted about the experience to say, you know what, but we're still here showing up, saving customers, because now I had to take book Ubers, take people to go and help with stock, and through those experiences, you even meet nicer people that are willing to help you, going extra mile. There was this guy from Mercedes-Benz. I didn't even know that I could even pay it and they can allow me to Uber, because remember some other dealerships, they want you to pay when you are there, those things that they don't want EFTs, stories and that. But you get somebody that is going extra mile for you, helping you, getting things, So for me, even such stories, share about them, because somebody can be encouraged through that. Then they start following your brand. So, okay, who's this person who's taking this problem that I thought for me it was the end of the world? Because other people will relate on a certain situation. Sometimes I've seen you post about your daughter. I think that's how I started following you. For me, I'm such a daddy's girl. We're very close with my dad. Very. So I started, following your story, that's so you relate with people in a different way. And because you cannot only have one clientele as a business, you as much as you're selling a book, but other people can relate you in different stories.
Did you ever doubt yourself or consider going back to government?
Every day.
To private jet.
Every day. You get a bad day, the customer that will just be lashing at you and it's like, Mara, why don't I just go to government? I had a nice life, guys, in government.
And I qualified.
Now they can hire me tomorrow. I'm like, can't I just go back to government? Guys, those bonus, it was my birthday last month, like last week. I'm like, I could have double pay. And then now I could have been a director. Now you're getting a notch of a chief director. Guys, I could be getting over $1 million plus just a salary. And, your annual salary. I'm like, I could be making so much money. But anyway, it's one of those that I love. I love this season of entrepreneurship. Yes, it comes with hardships, long hours, but it's so fulfilling.
What were the hardest moments in the first 6 to 12 months?
Everything. Like, you think buying into a franchise, it's easy. Franchise, how you get there, you open, you start selling. First day or second day, then there was that when load shedding was still starting in 2013. I saw it on TV, but it don't affect me. It will affect other businesses.
I'm in Blue Hills.
Yeah, it was not even Blue Hills. It was still in the township in Olivenhout-Bosch. But franchise, all the franchises, you always see them with lights on. I've never seen a franchise that says there's no electricity. But in the township, you've seen a quarter business that says we don't sell today, there's no electricity. So in your head, you're thinking maybe franchise, somebody come up here with your own ESCOM, with your own electricity. It doesn't work like that. So I didn't have generator then. Then, it was tough. Like, it was bad. Then after electricity issue, then cable theft started because the mall was new. So it attracted a lot of thieves, criminal activities, robberies. So you were running a business, 2 minutes you're at police station, 2 minutes you're at municipality, 2 minutes you're at telecom. You're like, I'm no longer even selling pizza now. I'm now solving problems. 2 minutes, there's a bike accident with your driver. You are in hospital. I was like, 6 months was hard. I even had to go and look for another funding from the NEF to say, I need to buy a generator because now I can't sell. The load shedding was bad. And it was not only load shedding. The mall started, the development of the area grew overnight. So their electricity couldn't now handle overload.
Yeah.
So yes, you've got a generator now, but you cannot now deliver pizza. And people, when it's load shedding, it's dark. They don't come out to the shopping center because it's not safe. 12 months was hard. The losses, it was bad.
So now, fast forward, you have a distribution business, the Perfume Co. that belongs to you, with over 150,000 distributors. How did you build that network?
That network, we started this business 2021 after COVID, as I was saying. And it started with me just being a distribution company where I will buy and now distribute. Yeah, and then I saw that the demand was now huge. We had stalls in different malls like your nail spread through a franchise model where people will invest in getting stock, trainings to sell. Now it was just too much for me to be all over, looking at the quality. So I was like, okay, let me outsource other services, because we had also launched affiliate marketing where people get commission. So the demand was too much for me. Then I met a company where they had been in the industry, servicing other companies. And unfortunately, things didn't go that well. Everything was so bad, like customers' products will get to the clients broken. The commission system was not like smooth, it will hang. It was so many complaints that I had to close the business down, literally, like it had to close down. It didn't work well. The complaints was just too much. So I was like, no, let me just, close doors. And I closed the door. And I now focused on my consulting for the franchises, business development, funding. I'm a funding specialist because I secured my own 1 million with NEF. So as I started helping people to do business plans. So I focused on that. I got corporate contracts where I mentor small businesses. So it was going well. I'm like, okay, let me focus on this. But sometimes when you love something, I still love the perfumes.
Yeah, the selling of the peanuts.
And you've seen that money must not this one waiting for clients to pay.
Yeah,
so I
the
still
selling
love
of the peanuts as a kid.
it
keeps following you.
And I think, okay, by God's grace, I met a partner, and when I met him, our first date, I gave him perfumes because I still had stock. And every time when we'll meet, he'll ask me about this perfume business. And now, remember, now you're giving
Partner
away.
is in lava or
yes.
Oh, lava boy. Thank you.
So as he will meet me, whether we're going out on a date, he'll keep on asking me, Aibo, why is the perfume business guy? I'm like, this guy doesn't ask me about franchises, doesn't he ask me about the book? He kept on asking about the perfume business. Then he started haunting me to say, okay, maybe there was something there. And remember, we just met. So he just didn't know me that well during the season of selling perfumes. He heard from me that I sold perfumes. He saw in my garage that I had shelves of perfumes, but the stock was just not that much anymore because I was just clearing stock, But he kept on asking a lot about this perfume business. And I was like, okay, now I've got funds. Maybe let me rebirth this perfume business. Because I was like, why would a stranger, somebody who's never seen me, I've told him that I own franchise, I've told him about the book, he have seen my book, because I think during COVID, my book, I used to promote it a lot because I just launched it. And people needed some content. So it was an easy content, to be selling to people. Like people were looking, they got retrenched, they were looking to start businesses. So I was like, okay, let me share with my book, and it shows you how to do business plan, So I was like, this guy has been seeing my interviews on YouTube about the book. Perfume was just 20% of the content on social media. The book, the franchising, the mentorship was what I had rebranded myself now from 20 when the perfume closed down, 2022, 2023. We met in early 2023. Then I was like, okay, maybe there's something. So I saved back the money because remember I told you that the savings were now finished. And as a small business, I think sometimes you run your business as high. I end up even paying my staff salaries when it was COVID because I felt like patlajang, and my savings, everything now was at zero. Like I was broke. So I was like, okay, let me just try again, rebirth the franchises, insurance luckily came through for us for the insurances, for the franchises. We got some money, at the end of the year because of the court case that happened. That's why I always tell people, please go to franchising, guys. There's so many learnings that you can learn from franchises. As a standalone business, we didn't know that a natural disaster you can claim, from insurances, Anyway, so then I had some money and then I saved again. My consulting was doing well now with the corporates. Then when I had money, I was like, what can I invest? Because sometimes money sitting in the bank, we know it doesn't make money. So I was like, what can I invest in? Then I was like, you know what, let me rebirth the perfume business. I started buying stock because I learned from my first business, lack of stock, it delays. Because remember I was buying from
The distributors.
Reseller, manufacturer. Then one of the big problems for my business was that the capacity, it was coming from KZN, the Courier, it was far. So I started now bulking up stock. I'm like, okay, let me rebirth, let me bulk stock. Then I started, looking into my own system to pay the distributors commission. Then that's how now I relaunched last year, May, the business.
And then the fear of failure, how did you overcome that?
Yeah, it's even now, it's still something that like anything can happen. The system can crash. Your supplier can change prices or not have enough stock like they don't now. Like they can't manage with our business. The stock volume that we need is crazy that they cannot manage. That's why even tomorrow I'm leaving, going to source some stock that we found in France. Because we are understanding South Africa, it's only few resellers of perfumes, ingredients, So it's constantly in my mind because even big businesses we've seen, Nokia has failed. Tupperware has failed, Pick and Pay are struggling. So even if it's big business, you cannot now relax and say, no, I've been doing this for years, it can't fail. So I still have those fears, I don't want to lie. I've not overcome them. I live with them every day. But I try my best, to say, let me make this business work, learn from the mistake, hear what your clients are saying with their complaints, actually shapes up, the challenges.
How does someone join to be a distributor?
It's very, very easy. So
Take
our
them
business,
through it. They want to make
you
mad. I'm seeing someone there saying, hey, why isn't he asking that question?
And then that the highest paid every month, they make over 500,000.
Jeez.
And you can start and make 3,000 in first month. Anyway, so you just join by finding somebody from social media who you can join under because you need to join under support.
Yes.
That's why I'm like, it's a franchise. So you can charge Google Perfume Co. If you don't have any friend,
selling the perfume.
then you join under somebody because they need to explain the business for you and then take you through, train you. Then they can sign you up. Then with only 99 rand, you can start. You don't even have to have money for stock because we understand other people is tough. But if you've got stock on hand, your business gets to be more successful better because people want to buy stock that they see. But if you don't have stock at all, you can still advertise and be honest with your clients to say, I'll have to pre-order, but it will take maybe 2 weeks. And other customers don't like to wait. But there are people that will, so it's 2 ways. You can start with $6.95 so that you can get perfumes. It's either 10 bottles or 5 bottles of 50 mils or 10 bottles of 30 mils. And then or 99 rand as a business registration where you get access to marketing materials, trainings. We've got Zoom trainings twice a day, Monday to Thursday. We also have office where you can just walk in. Somebody can give you support. We've got a call center where you can call in, ask information, and you make over 100% profit into our products. Anything that you sell to our products is over 100% profit. And you also get paid to tell people about the Perfume Co business. If they sign up monthly, you get from 20% to 40% in commission. So you earn in 2 ways. You earn retail profits of 100% or commissions as well.
Right.
But you don't have to recruit people to join the business. You can just enjoy your 100%. But if you want to settle your debts, have money to buy your house cash, your car, we highly recommend also telling people. Because remember, you need your cousins to be self-employed or have some money instead of sending.
That's why I called you. I hope my cousins are watching.
Please, you just give them once-off startup. All of the ladies, whether they're earning 100,000 now a month or 200,000, go and check the Star newspaper. They covered our event where people were giving their testimonies to say, I was depressed. I started the business with only $6.95. Today, I'm an 100,000 earner in the Perfume Co business within a year.
Beautiful. Guys, you must remember this conversation is brought to you by AdProp.co.za. It's a property listing platform that allows you to use the same platform to be able to manage your property rental portfolio, which involves leasing, invoicing, reports, and being able to also use the service providers when it comes to maintenance, painting, electricians, plumbers, for you to be able to have access to them. So your tenants can literally request for a service provider on the platform, even if you're in France, like Bathabile is going to France tomorrow.
I can go in there and
If
live.
she's got a property investment portfolio, her tenants can request for any maintenance to be done right on the platform. We built it for you. We thank
nice
you though
platform.
for the onboarding. We've got almost 5,000 people on the platform. And remember, on the 28th of June, we have our official community launch in Tembisa. From the back rooms to the boardrooms. That's a story of AdProp. And thank you so much for the growth. Remember, adprop.co.za. Your business empowers women. I want to
And
go through.
men.
But what I've
Bad
seen,
years.
it empowers women. Was that intentional from day one, or it's just something that happened because women just wanted to sell?
No, women in general love to sell, you know. Yeah, there are men that love to sell, but women, they small things, they don't mind starting small. Men wants to
single
start
mothers
big.
mostly.
Single mothers mostly, but we still have a lot of married women, hey? Because remember, as a mother, you are the one taking care of the kids, even if you are married. It's nature. That's how nature is just, you know. So it was just for me, I love to, that's my passion. I love to empower women because we know the struggle of women. You know, we know a lot of challenges in women starts with them being lack of opportunities or money.
Yeah.
So once the women are empowered, even the families, even men enjoy their marriage. They enjoy the relationship better when a woman is more empowered. We take care of ourselves better when we've got money, our own money.
Yeah.
You know, so
Linkalebula.
exactly. You don't want to date a woman that, what's it do? Depression. You understand? Every time I come to you asking for money, no, and now you end up not enjoying the relationship because you're like, yo, she's gonna want money there. So once there's money in the homes, guys, and especially women also
Guys, your
having
girlfriends
some
must start selling
contribution,
perfume, eh?
you know,
Yeah, go.
it makes relationships man fun.
Your girlfriend must sell perfume.
That 10 rand that women brings, somehow it comes as if 1,000 rand, even if it's little. But women have hands to multiply that money.
What are some of the stories that have moved you from the resellers that have moved?
You know, even
or changed you?
yesterday, I saw somebody posting that, guys, I've just paid my rent. Ne? Sleep is a Capitec. Guess how much was the rent? 900 rand.
Oh,
Somebody being grateful to say, with selling perfumes, I could now afford.
sure.
Somebody last week qualified for 2 cars. We've got one who qualified for golf. She's working. She started working as an HR intern. She's like, when she saw a pay slip, she realized, okay, I'm an HR intern. She thought she could just automatically buy a car, but she couldn't afford it. Because remember, now you've got rent to pay, you've got this. Then she supplemented now with selling perfumes. She qualified. The other one bought a very, you know, those cute small cars. But the fact that she's saying, my car is going to be paid fully by the commissions that I earn. Because now she's earning over 10,000 in commission. She's not employed, but she qualified for a car.
Wow. Do you see yourself as a businesswoman or as a movement builder?
I'm a community builder.
Community builder.
Yeah, so I always say I don't feel, but even now I'm like, you know what, this business, the way it's growing, the way it's transforming people's life, for me it's no longer an like enterprise. You know, it's more than just being an enterprise. But
It's more than just money. I told you guys.
I always say that, like, yo, there's grace in this business. I think God, it's you know, we always say it's like a church.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a church.
What-
It comes in different ways. It's bringing, you know, that financial freedom in people's lives. Remember when you go to church, you go there for healing, to praying. But this one is even giving you more than just finances, because you meet, you build community, you meet friends. Like our distributors, now they're friends, they're family. We know each other's kids. Like when we travel, there are kids that we travel with. You
They're
now
teaching them entrepreneurship.
we are families. Even my son, you know, we've got this hand wristbands for marketing. He wears them more than I do every day. Even now, he goes to class with them. There was a time where he will take them out, but now after bathing, my aunt will laugh and say, you know, after bathing, he's looking for them. Like, you must put them immediately.
Brandy, it's very important. What legacy do you want to leave? Or do you want the Perfume Co. to leave behind?
I wanted to leave more than the legacy for my family, but for the community. You know, the way we speak about those other brands like your Tupperware. Remember, each and every household somehow is either your grandmother sold it or your mom sold it. And there are beautiful stories about those Tupperwares. It's not just
people went to
about
school.
money. Yes, people went to school. It brought families close. Sometimes your mom and aunt will buy the same Tupperwares. They live in from stock fair to buy each other. Exactly. But you remember those beautiful memories. That's why now we see how even our kids and husbands, you know, even now we see husbands being more involved, supporting.
Yeah.
You know, there's a leader who will go and do presentation in Mpopo. The husband will say, let me drive with you.
Yes.
So we see now it even brings families, are even getting chill. You know, yes, bringing families together. You know, like partners should be traveling together because we travel. Like we had a gala dinner this weekend, and the top 10 presidents. Thank you so much. We invited even their partners to stay with them. We gave them a treat at the hotel dinner. Their partners were there. So it just bringing even partners together, you know. So we want to be remembered with that, not only about the money that provides, but how it builds communities. You know, there are other people now, didn't know each other, they're from the same region. But once they see each other at events, let's say now we'll be going to, there's an event in Venda and the other one in Distributors and the other one in, I think, Wheatbank. Now you meet them like, hi, boy, you are from my area. Now the bond that you build as communities, you know.
If your daughter or son asked you, Mama, why did you build this? What would you say?
For me, I want to build, why I build it from the love. That's number one. You know, it's the love that I have to see other people succeeding through the work that I do. So for me, I'm also building for them in that way because remember, it cannot just be my kids being wealthy and enjoying the life. They won't enjoy it if their surroundings is poor. It's pointless.
You've got the same mindset. you want your kid
to have friends that are rich.
Yeah.
They will all enjoy. You know?
Must just be friends with my kids.
They're already there. Are you going to be sending perfumes together and the book? I told you the deal on the book and the perfume. You combo.
They must go together.
Combo.
That's it.
Then we'll travel together. We are going to Thailand. Please, you are joining our promo. We've got a promo to Thailand in October. I know you will smash the targets.
Bye-bye, Chief. I'm going to Thailand.
I know you're coming with your daughter.
Quick fire chat.
You must tell your daughter I know her.
Must tell her you know.
Yes.
She always goes,
I know her.
I know. Did you put me on TikTok? Yes, did you put me on TikTok? Let's go quick fire chat.
Okay.
What has building this business taught you about money?
It's taught me that, you know what, you can start as little as 100 Rand and build $1 billion business because I'm seeing it now. I've started this business with those 100 bottles, but the money that I've made and not my money, remember I didn't take a loan for this business. It has even built it more than the money that I loaned before to start a franchise. So it just taught me that, you know what, it's not wishy-washy when people say you can use people's money to build wealth, you know.
What mindset shifts were critical for you to become this woman?
I think the mindset shift is that always believing that there's nothing too big. You know, sometimes you think, hey, I cannot achieve that. No. You can achieve anything. Wow. Let your mind push yourself into it. Remember those things when people were saying it sounded too English, like you can do anything that your mind push yourself into it. Like, hey, it's not possible. But now I see that, you know what, it's possible. Even the one that you're not telling people, but thinking it out of your head. I see them now in my life. I'm like, is it me going to France to buy stock? So I'll have a supplier from France. Now I've got a supplier, my chatbot for the business is from Dubai. So it's like, hi, it's happening.
How do you manage the pressure of success, family expectations, business?
So I think what has helped me, we're such a small family at home and everybody was involved in everybody's business. So I'll know what's happening with my dad, they'll know what's happening with me. So I carry the same, like even my partner is somewhere in the industry, but somehow we are now involved together in the business because I will be telling him whether he's interested or not. But I believe that, you know, sometimes sharing your life with your loved ones, it makes them easy for them to understand because you cannot just expect people automatically understand that you're an author. Keep on sharing them. Even sometimes they get annoyed. They're not getting annoyed because you annoy them. Sometimes they're tired, but have patience. You know, up until they fell in love, because one thing for sure is that they will end up falling in love with what you love.
I'm in love with AdProp. Go to adprop.co.za. That's what I'm
Even my kids now, my daughter was not interested in perfumes, even my son. But now they've seen this business because I involved them.
Yeah.
Don't just say, they're not interested, and then you're just closing them off. You now created gap.
Yeah.
So
My daughter the other day says to me, "Hey, you're gonna be very rich. Why? Why? I saw that house on AdProp."
so she had about connections.
They are.
Exactly. You see?
Do you believe that black excellence in business is celebrated enough, or we still limited by perception?
No, it's not celebrated enough because even a small mistake by a black business already they are crushing you. But with big business, it's like, no, it's just a small mistake. But with black businesses, there's no small mistake. One mistake, you are trending there. So yeah, I don't think it's because they don't now. The good that we do, they don't talk about them. Make them trend a lot, like the bad that will just happen.
Yes. Yes, that's so true. What advice would you give someone listening who's sitting at a job afraid to jump?
For me, I always say, you know what, entrepreneurship is not really about if you're an entrepreneur or not. As a professional or unemployed, you need to have something to sell. You don't even have to invent something. You don't
Sell
have
something.
just sell something.
Yeah.
Because if you look, remember, even in corporate, there'll be this other people that you're thinking, their lives, they've got money than you. They are doing something extra than what you're doing. And anything that can bring you extra money, settle your debts. You know, sometimes you get into debts because you're depending on one income. So when we say sell something, you're not saying go and create a business. No. Selling and creating a business, they're two different things. Just sell a product that is old. Sell a book. You don't have to write a book, but you can sell a book because there are people in your community that will want to buy that book, but it's far from them. So
Yes.
sell something, but you need to be like intentional. You need to have extra income. Whether you're working, you are not working, even when you're working, you need to have even extra income because you know the levies of those bonds, they're fixing, they're renovating. You need more money than even somebody that was unemployed, you know. So to be honest, selling and having extra income, it gets you out of so many troubles. You will get out of depression. You can give your kids better. You can even live better. Eating healthy is expensive. And some people, you are sick because of you are not eating healthy. So just having extra income, it saves you a lot. Having money that you can just give to your family without being stressing. You feel good. You feel, you know. So even donating a church. Remember, we want our churches to look good. How can the churches have facilities that you need if we are not donating to churches?
Yeah.
So there's a lot that you can even fulfill your own needs by just having an extra income.
I always say poverty is expensive.
Your poverty is very expensive. You cannot even take your kids to a better school. Now you expect them to be better adults. You know, so to be honest, selling, you should not even be thinking about it. It's like at school. Remember, you had first language English, then you'll get second language Afrikaans.
Yeah.
Selling is that second language Afrikaans.
Cheers.
You must take it like that. It must just be there.
Yeah.
Even your kids, you must tell them you need to sell something. Don't tell them that you must be good at this. No. They must just sell. Whether they love it or not, it's not about loving it. Did you love Afrikaans?
No.
You know, it's one of those that you
I
did it.
still struggle with Afrikaans.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you've built a lot. What's the next step for you and the company?
Yeah, so now I think going out of outsourcing. So now we want to do things more in-house. We have now established our own courier system. So we'll be now doing our own deliveries. We'll be partnering, of course, with other businesses, black-owned businesses, to help us with our couriers. So we want to have most of the things in-house.
Sure.
So that we can better our service. Because once they're in-house, you get better control.
Yeah. So if you're given an opportunity to speak to the young Bathabile watching from home as a listener who needs one reason to believe in themselves or to believe in what they need to do. And they're saying, I need something that I can start doing tomorrow for my life to move to the next level. And you are given the opportunity to say, speak to the young 22-year-old, the young 15-year-old, 25-year-old who might be struggling, whatever. They're black, they're white, they're Indian, they're colored, whatever, right? Looking through that camera as your last words in this interview, what would you say to them?
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one. But one thing that I will definitely tell them is that, you know what, success doesn't choose only the ones with better upbringing. You could be successful even starting late in life. You don't even have to start at 22, but the sooner you start, the better, you know, and definitely do something that you love. You know, don't just go with, they said there's no money there, there's no money. Just do something that you love. They will get the money. If you love dancing, do that dancing. Don't look into, hey, no, I must do a property business or crypto. If you love dancing, dance, do it, post about it, you know, share what you are good at. Other people, they are stuck because they're thinking they need to be this brilliant scientist. If you love cooking, cook, share pictures, share videos. You know, you can just be good in anything that you can do. Don't try to do according to the society of now it's tech space now. Everything is tech. I'm not good at tech.
Not everyone can build AdProp. It's not easy.
It's not easy, you know. Exactly. So do what. If you are good in plaiting people's hair or doing makeup, do that. Especially in these days, go to social media. You'll see people booking you. So you don't even have to have money. You know, other people say, but I don't have money to start. How do you have money to buy clothes?
You know what you must say to them. Here's what you must say to them. You must say it's more than just money.
Exactly, it's more than just money. It's more than just money. You know, to be honest, you can be good in anything.
Yeah.
I always tell people I'm not an athletic, I can sing, you know, but look at me.
You can sell.
I can talk. It's not even selling. I mean, I can talk. Each and every interview, it's not really about selling. What I used is talking. I used to do promotions when I was a student. I will talk and I will do more sales. It was not the sales skills that I had, but it was the talking. So for me, I use the talking, you know. So people say, oh, a whole lot. You know that thing that say, we as a tat, oh, what a dancer. That's your sign. Do it. Did a game, you know, there's gaming. Do that gaming, but be intentional and say, you know what, I'm going to do this gaming and then I'm going to, you know, monetize this gaming.
You want to be the best.
Yeah, don't just be gaming as a couch potato. If you love gaming, do gaming. Go follow gaming. Read books about gaming. Be intentional, you know, about whatever talent that you have. And it doesn't have to be talent in sport or talent, you know, those talents that people will say, oh, you must be talented in sport or singing. No, anything. There are youngsters that are brilliant in just looking good. You know, so anybody, you've got that talent. So don't
like
look.
me, I'm brilliant in looking good.
You know, so imagine now selling perfumes, looking this good. You make a killing.
Yeah, I'm being recruited. Yeah.
You'll make a killing.
I sell property.
You see, and I'm sure that's why it's the fastest growing. Your looks.
Thank you so much for coming.
It's a pleasure.
You and I can talk until tomorrow. We'll get into trouble with the producers. They're like, guys, time.
Can you finish? No, thank you for hosting me.
Thank you so much. It was a wonderful conversation. I hope to have a part 2 when you have 1 million distributors. I'm challenging you.
Please.
And I hope we can add some value through this podcast and more people can join the Perfume Co. and the business
and make money, guys.
And grow.
Here we pay you to make money.
Absolutely. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
any closing
and the team.
words?
I love your work. You really inspire me and a lot of others. That's why now we're saying, please, at the Perfume Co family, we want to have you. We want to sell books.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
No,
Thank you so much. Right, guys, that conversation was brought to you by adprop.co.za. Please head out to adprop.co.za. But before you do, please click on that subscribe button. Click on the notifications bell. I promised you quality content, and this is it. You know, bringing you game changers, entrepreneurs, and people that are making a difference in the South African business landscape. From myself and Bathabile and my team, broadcasting from AdProp. It's more than just money. We'll see you in the next episode. Ciao, ciao.
Yeah.